Hey everybody, it's Chris Loud. In this short abstract painting tutorial, I'll show you one of the techniques I use to carve out abstract shapes in my paintings. Starting out with a 12 by 16 inch canvas and just adding several different blues and greens and yellow to create a background to start out with. The great thing about doing backgrounds like this is you could start so many different kinds of paintings doing this kind of background, just kind of making a mess and with similar colors that blend well and go in different directions. But of course this one is all about shapes. So I'm going to start with a white water-soluble wax pastel and kind of sketch out some shapes. And I apologize, I changed the angle of my camera and stepped in front of it a couple of times there. So I'm creating those shapes, just trying to make something that looks interesting. And then I'm going to come in with a very large paintbrush, well, very large for this size painting. This is a 2-inch paintbrush, and this is just a paintbrush for painting houses, something I picked up, I think at Walmart or Home Depot. But I wanted a large brush to kind of play with on this painting. And I will bring in some smaller brushes here shortly, but this is great for, like I said, kind of carving out those shapes. And then I will take a palette knife and kind of play around with just some marks and scratching into this background a little bit. And the great thing with starting off with a colorful background, and you can't see it real well on the video, but a lot of that color will shine through on those scratches. So I'm just playing here, and I again wanted to use colors that I knew would blend well together. I'm using bright aqua green, a thick body brilliant blue, Windsor blue, titanium white, cadmium yellow, pale hue, and then at different points I use a light olive green and a lime green. And then I also will bring in, just for a little bit of interest in this painting, a little bit of vermilion. So you can see that I've got a little bit of blue there that I was kind of working at that background, and that was actually accidental. I just had a thick bit of paint there, and as I was painting that white down, it was kind of popping through, so I had to play with that. But I actually liked how that worked out with a little bit of thick white covering that. It added some interest to this. So what I'm putting down now is a mix of that bright aqua green and a little Payne's gray. I forgot to mention that I had Payne's gray on there, and just a tiny bit of white to just add kind of a base to these three shapes. And again, just having some fun. And I'll start scratching into this. But this is a painting that I'm working on, kind of a test painting for a much larger piece that I'm thinking about, and wanted to just experiment a little bit with this one. But I was thinking about using three somewhat circular shapes, and this one they're a little more rounded. I might go with that, might not. We'll see. But again, just scratching in some lines to create some interest in that kind of base. And I'm calling it a base because I will flip it around here shortly, and you'll see that. And then I felt like I needed a little bit of warmth in there and a little bit of contrast with all the blues and greens. So brought in a little bit of vermilion here, and just started kind of playing with that into the background a little bit, and ultimately just like the little bit of it that was kind of on the edge. So I took my catalyst wedge and a little bit of white and kind of mixed that red back in, vermilion back in. And at this point I'm starting to work on the shape and the color and the blending of those colors within these shapes here. And On these shapes, I'm primarily using lime green, bright aqua green, and brilliant blue, and I do bring in a little bit of the Windsor blue in these shapes as well. I wanted them to really have a variety of colors in those shapes, and also keep in mind I wanted a little bit of contrast. So that's where I start bringing in some of this Windsor blue to deepen some of the color there. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Also do tutorials and art challenges and videos like that. I'm using a filbert brush to apply this paint, and I've found that synthetic filbert brushes do a great job of blending. So I'm using that to try and blend some of these colors together, knowing that I wanted to keep some of that bright aqua green, which looks more blue in these videos. Actually, I guess it looks more blue as I look at it now. But really wanted to have kind of a variety of colors within these shapes. So I had a pretty active weekend on painting this weekend. This happened to be one of those that I was working on. I also did a little bit larger version of this. I believe that was an 18 by 24 size. And like I said, I'm wanting to work up to a 36 by 48 on this one, but I wanted to practice a little bit more. I'll probably do some more thumbnail sketches just to kind of hone in on the shapes and the composition of this, but I thought this would be a pretty engaging larger painting. So, but yeah, some weekends it's I shouldn't even say weekends, just some days it's really nice to just prep 5 or 6 canvases and pull out a set of colors and just focus on those colors for those canvases and really play around. And that's really what I was doing this weekend and had a great time doing it. It's really kind of fun to see what different kinds of paintings you can make with the same colors, all in one day. But if you don't do that, I highly recommend it. Give it a try. So here I'm just using a soft graphite stick to kind of carve out a little bit of that shape as well. Just kind of put a little bit of a border around it. So here is the final painting in different orientations. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those in the comments, and keep on painting.